Hello everyone, this video is about Chapter 8, Transport System, Subtopic 8.1, Mammalian Heart and its Regulation. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to review the mammalian heart structure and function. The mammalian heart is situated between two lungs and behind the sternum or our breastbone. They are made up mostly of cardiac muscle and they have three layers of sacs, which are epicardium, myocardium and endocardium. The pericardial fluid is secreted between the heart walls and surrounding tissue, and it functions to reduce friction between membrane when the heart is beating. And the heart consists of four chambers, which are the right atria, the left atria, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. This is the structure of a mammalian heart. It consists of aorta, which carries the blood to the body, pulmonary artery, which carries the blood to the lungs, pulmonary veins, which carry the blood from the lungs, the left atrium, the left ventricle, the superior vena cava, which carries the blood to the heart, the right atrium, the right ventricle, and inferior vena cava, which also carries the blood to the heart. Why atria has thicker wall than ventricle? Atria only have to pump blood to a short distance down to the ventricle, while ventricles has much thicker wall because they need to develop enough pressure to force blood to pump further. While left ventricle has more muscular muscle than the right ventricle, because the right ventricle only have to force the blood to the lungs, while the left ventricles pump the blood to the whole body. The atrioventricular valve or AV valve, the tricuspid valve or the right AV valve is located between the right atrium and the right ventricle. It functions to prevent the backflow of blood from right ventricle into the right atrium. The bicuspid valve or the left AV valve is situated between the left atrium and the left ventricle. It functions to prevent the backflow of blood from the left ventricle into the left atrium. The semilunar valve, pulmonary valve, which located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery, is to prevent the backflow of blood from pulmonary artery into the right ventricle, while the aortic valve, located between the left ventricle and aorta, is to prevent the backflow of blood from aorta into the left ventricle. The heartbeat. One heartbeat consists of a contraction, also known as systole, and relaxation, also known as diastole. Under normal condition, the rate of heartbeat or heart rate in human is about 72 beats per minute, each beat lasting about 0.8 seconds. The structures that involve in initiation of heartbeat. The first one is sinoatrial node. The second one is the AV node or the atrioventricular node. Next one is bundle of His. Then bundle branches, so we have the right bundle branches and the left bundle branches. Then the bundle branches is connected to the Purkinje fibers. How does heartbeat start? The heartbeat starts from the sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node will generate impulse and the impulse will spread to both atria. When the atria receive the impulse, the atria will contract and the blood in the atria will flow into the ventricles. Then the impulse will stop at atrioventricular node for 0.1 second in order to allow all of the blood in the atria to flow into the ventricles. Then the impulse will travel to the bundle of His, bundle branches and to the Purkinje fiber. Then the impulse will spread to both ventricles and the ventricles will contract and pump all of the blood into the pulmonary artery and also into the aorta. Subtopic 8.2, Human Lymphatic System. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to review of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system contains a network of vessels that transport a fluid called lymph around the body and drain it back into the blood. The lymph are formed when the blood from the heart flows from arteriole into the small capillaries. Due to high pressure, some of the blood content is filtered out into the interstitial space and becoming the interstitial fluid. 90% of the interstitial fluid will flow back into the capillary near the venule, while the 10% remaining interstitial fluid will enter the lymphatic system and forming the lymph. The lymphatic fluid is also known as lymph. They are clear and colorless. They originate from the blood plasma and they have the similar composition to the blood plasma, but without red blood cell, platelets, and large protein molecule, and they also contain many lymphocytes. The lymphatic system component consists of lymphatic capillaries, lymphatic vessels, lymphatic nodes, lymph, lymphatic organs, and lymphatic duct. This is the end for this lesson. See you in the next video.